everyone, it's Jacqueline for Pixie Dust PhD. A question I've been getting a lot recently is how did I decide which DVC resale site to use? There are a lot of DVC resale sites out there, so it makes sense that folks may be slightly overwhelmed once they decided to purchase resale instead of going directly through Disney. The honest truth though is I did not pick a site to use per se. I knew what contract I was looking for and I browsed a lot of sites in order to find a contract that fit my needs. In this video, we'll be doing a brief overview of the main resale sites I browse. They all have pros and cons, and we'll be comparing sites' various features. For example, on some sites you can search for use years, and on others you can't. On some sites you can set a max price, and on some sites it's immediately obvious if contracts are loaded or stripped. No site is perfect, but I hope that this brief overview will help you on your journey in finding the perfect DVC resale contract. To begin, let's start with DisneyDVCResale.com. This is actually not a resale site, it's a search engine. So as you can see from their homepage, you can select the home resort you're interested in, the use year you're interested in, and you can create a points minimum and maximum as well. Similarly, there's a cost per point min and max, and then you can search based on those parameters. Right now, I haven't searched, so presumably this has all listings, all 854. It's not clear to me how the site obtains the data. For example, if you search by date listed, the most recent one is May of 2020, so it doesn't seem like there's been anything inputted anytime recently. Therefore, I would say use this site with caution. On paper, it seems amazing, but there clearly are limitations. One thing I really do like though is this average listing prices. Again, this data may be a bit outdated, but it gives you a good general sense of what's going on. For example, if you're interested in Animal Kingdom villas, as far as the listings that this site has collated, the average listing price is around $110 per point, with the weighted price about the same. The lowest listing price is $99 and the highest listing price they have is $135. The other thing I really like about this site is it doesn't really seem like they clear out any of the old data. For example, if we go to Bay Lake Tower and search just those listings, we can then display 100 of them at the same time on the same page. From there, you can go ahead and sort by anything. So if you wanted to see all the use years clumped together to give you a good idea of maybe how common the use year you're looking for is or is not. You can also sort by cost per point, for example. The highest contract they have is listed at $175 per point. You can see most of them fall in the $140 to $150 range. If you know about how many points you want, you can sort by the number of points. This will give you a rough idea of how much you may be paying for a similar sized DVC contract. So take this website, the DVC search engine, with a grain of salt, but it's a nice place to start, and you can certainly gather a lot of information here if you're a data-driven person. Moving on to the first actual resale site, let's start with DVC Resale Market at DVCResaleMarket.com. Here you can check out listings based on just any individual home resort, or you can view all of the listings at once. You can then refine your results for the listings. You can specify any of the use years that you want. You can also specify a maximum price as well as a maximum price per point. And you can adjust this slider bar to designate the range of points that you are interested in, say anywhere between 40 and 120 points. When you look at the listings, it's immediately obvious how many points are in any given contract. So you can see that this first contract is a 600 point contract and you will get all 600 points in 2022, but there are none left for 2020 and only 25 left in 2021. So it's not a fully stripped contract, but it's pretty dang stripped. You can also sort by points available. So I'm sorting by low amounts of points available here. Now you can see a fully stripped contract at Boulder Ridge. So this contract has 170 points per year. In 2020, there are 0 points left, and there's also 0 points left for 2021. You won't get your first allotment of points until August of 2022. Stripped contracts can be a negative because you obviously get less points. That being said, they are often priced much lower because they are stripped. So depending on when your next big trip to Walt Disney World will be, a stripped contract may work out well for you. Similarly, we can sort by points available, but oppositely, so with the most amount of points on top. And again, you can see many of these contracts have lots of points on them. This Animal Kingdom contract is conveniently tagged with a 2x and it says double points. So currently, right now, there's actually twice the amount of normal points available. This is a 350 point contract, but available right now are 700 points. So this is a loaded contract. You are getting the current points plus some banked points. Loaded contracts tend to be priced a little bit higher because there are so many more points. That being said, if you want to go on a big vacation as soon as you can, then a loaded contract may be for you. Another thing I like about the DVC resale market is that every listing has this heart next to it, and you can click this heart to add it to your favorites. Then you can leave the website and come back and your favorites are stored here. If you have a particular contract in mind and you want to be able to jump on that right away, you can go ahead and download the DVC Resale Market app and get notifications of new listings. While you're evaluating the resale market, if you're thinking ahead about selling, the DVC Resale Market advertises in their FAQs for resale sellers that their commission price is 8.5%. The next resale site we'll consider is DVCstore.com. On this site, you can look at all of the DVC listings, or you can pick a specific home resort to look at those listings alone. They also have web pages for banked point packages and small point packages, which is nice. Let's go to view all listings. You'll note here that you can't really sort by anything. You can use Control F, the find function on your computer, or you can just scroll. Alternatively, if you go back to Buy DVC, you can search all listings instead of view all listings. Here, you can go ahead and specify the resort, the use year, the min and max amount of points, and then submit that and it will populate. Let's say I don't care about the resort but I want a contract between 80 and 120 points. This populates a table based on our search terms. This is a subset of all of the listings that meet the criteria that I inputted. Say we specifically want a Bay Lake Tower contract. Again, like in the View All Listings page, you cannot sort. I believe all of the tables are auto-sorted by the number of points, so you will have the contract with the smallest amount of points first, and then as you scroll, there will be more and more points available for the contract. Although it's not as visually obvious as on that DVC Resale Market website, the site does list the number of points currently available and if there are any banked points or if it's a stripped contract. For example, in the second listing, you can see it has 128 points currently available, 100 from the contract plus 28 banked from 2019. And the bank points also appears here. If we look at these two contracts, you can see this has 137 points banked and this one has 140 points banked. These are both 160 point contracts, so they're not quite a 2x fully loaded contract, but they're pretty dang close to a loaded contract. From a glance, it is harder to tell if it's a stripped contract. This listing, for example, is an October use year with 160 points, so in theory, in October of 2020, there should be 160 points coming to the account. You can see though that it says 160 points coming in October 2021, meaning that the current owner actually used the October 2020 points already, and this is a stripped contract. Even though you can't sort, something I really like about this website is the way that they list their IDs. The listing ID always starts with the home resort, so AK for Animal Kingdom. The number of points, 0.25 for a 25-point contract. The use year, 03 for March. And then these last numbers, I believe, are the day that it was listed, so this contract would have been listed on September 9th. That way, if you're keeping your eye on a listing while figuring out your financing, for example, you know exactly when this resale contract was put up, and therefore how many days it's been since. If you're interested in the listing, any of these hyperlinked terms will take you to the listing page. And from there, you'll have all you need to know. To my knowledge, you can't favorite anything on this website, but you can sign up for text message alerts. And in the text message alerts, you can specify your desired resort as well as up to 3 use years, but you don't have to specify a use year here if you're pretty flexible. As a potential buyer, this interface really isn't my favorite. That being said, this website tends to get a lot of listings, so it's definitely worth checking out. At the DVC store, when you click Sell DVC and scroll down, you'll see that the commission rate is currently listed at 8.5%. Next, we have DVC Sales at DVCSales.com. They have this very obvious button right at the top where you can click to view all of the listings. From the same page, you can select any of the resorts that you are interested in, as well as any of the use years. There's also a slider where you can specify the minimum and maximum amount of contract points. Also, if you click this button, you'll go from basic to advanced. Here, then, you can also set a slider for the price per point, minimum, and maximum, as well as the contract price, minimum, and maximum. Although there's no visual cue to tell you this, you can actually sort by any of the column headers. Click points per year, and here we have the smallest number of points per year contract available. Click it again, and here's the largest. Same with the use year. You can group all of the use years together if you want. You can also click available points. And here you can see you have a fully stripped contract. So just like DVC Resale Market, the way they show you available points I think is fast, easy, and intuitive. They also have these hearts you can click to favorite a contract and come back on the same browser on the same computer to view your favorites. If you click the Buying tab, then on the left-hand navigation, you'll see this Request button, and you can make a special request. To my knowledge, there are no alerts for this website, but you can put in a request. On the Selling tab, if you go to the Frequently Asked Questions for Sellers and then the fees associated with selling, you can see that DVC Sales has a commission rate of 8%. The next website is Resales DVC at ResalesDVC.com. From here, you can view all listings by clicking this button, or in the drop-down menu, you can pick a specific home resort that you are interested in. Through this search feature, you can kind of sort for use year. For example, if you want a December use year, you can type in December, and that is what is populated. And as these arrows indicate, you can sort by any of these headings. There is, however, no clear-cut way to specify a range for your maximum price per point or contract price. Same with the number of points. You can use the search feature, and that works out sometimes. For example, if you want to search 100, that will mostly populate 100-point contracts, but it's not always going to work. For example, here you can see a 50-point contract, but because there are 100 points coming from banked points, this is coming up in your search. Similarly, this is a 270-point contract, but because it's listed at $100 per point, it's coming up in your search for the term 100. So for this website specifically, I would suggest searching for the use year, for example, August, and then sorting by the number of points. And now I know if I want a 100-point contract with an August use year, these are the ones available. The points available column does include information in sentence format about the number of points for any given contract. So here's where you'll find out if there are points banked or if the contract is stripped. It's nice that the information is here, although I don't find it as clean and easy to read as some of the other examples we've seen so far. You can view a listing by clicking the listing ID or more information. On the listing page, you can see more clearly the number of points coming for the next few years. To my knowledge, there's no way to favorite an individual listing. However, under the Buy DVC tab, you can see that they have an app. Here you can download the app, set up notifications, and get alerts coming to your phone. On the app, you can also apparently bookmark your favorite listings, which likely will work in the same function as favoriting a listing. And if we go to the FAQ for sellers, you can see that the commission here is 8.5%. Next is the DVC Shop. This is at resales.dvcshop.com. Under the Listing tab, you can see that you can view all of the listings together or browse an individual home resort. A feature I like about this website is they have a checkbox for Show Available Properties Only, meaning any of the properties with sales pending will be removed from the table. This table is sortable by any of these headings, so you can sort by resort if you want to look at all of the Animal Kingdom listings together. You can sort by the amount of points, you can sort by the use year, etc. And while you can sort by price per point as well as the overall price of the contract, you cannot specify a range for the minimum and maximum price per point or price of the contract. Similarly, you can't specify a range for the number of points that you're looking for. You cannot sort by the available points column, but this is where you'll find information about if the contract is loaded or stripped, again in sentence format. Although you can sort by your need-to-know information based on these columns, you really can't search or specify very much on this website. When we view an individual listing, you will see all of the pertinent need-to-know information about that listing. From what I can tell, there's no way to favorite a specific listing. Under the Buying tab, you can see that there is a DVC Listings email update page. Here's where you can sign up for emails to be notified of new listings. That being said, from this general page, it doesn't look like you can specify a home resort or use year or similar. The DVC Shop Resales also does have an app though, so you may be able to get push notifications based on specifications through the app. If you're looking ahead to selling, navigate your way to the seller FAQs. When you scroll down, you'll see, as a seller, what are my fees? And here they state that the commission for this website is 8.5%. Next, we have DVC Magic Resales at dvcmagicresales.com. Similarly, you can view all the listings together or listings for a specific home resort. When viewing all listings, you can pick a specific resort, you can specify your use year here, although you can only pick one, and then you can also specify a range of points and the range for the total price. Without specifying anything, the listings come up in this block format. I really hate this format. It's not clear to me how it's sorted, and I find it hard to read at a glance. Plus, you have to sort through 14 pages of it if you want to look through everything together. Instead, I would highly suggest you know at least the home resort or a couple of home resorts you're considering and go to those individual pages. For example, let's look at Bay Lake Tower. This view is better. It's still one of my least favorite user interfaces I've interacted with in the DVC resale space. From a glance, you can tell that this is a $142 per point contract, but how many points are there? You can guess based on the total price, but it doesn't say up front. It's also not clear from right here what the use year is. If you click this arrow to reveal more information about the listing, then you can see how many points are available and the use year, but it's still not explicitly said how many points the contract is for. Based on the number of points available, it's usually pretty easy to guess how many points the contract is for, and you can of course back calculate it based on the overall price and the listed price per point. But I just find it pretty annoying that this information isn't listed obviously up front. When you click an individual listing, you'll be taken to the Make an Offer for that listing. Based on the prior page and this page, to my knowledge, you cannot favorite a specific listing. If you go back to the main listing page though and scroll down, you can put in a request. Here you would tell them the resort that you're looking for with what use year and how many points you want. Presumably then they would alert you if a contract that matches your request shows up. While this is probably one of the least intuitive user interface designs I've worked with, there is one big pro to this website. And that is if you click Sell DVC, you can see that their commission rate is 4.5%. So certainly if you're considering selling, it may be worth working with this company. Next we have DVC by Resale at dvcbyresale.com. Here, immediately on the homepage, you have the table with all of the listings. I like that they don't make you click through anything to get to the information you want. However, to my knowledge, you can only view all of the listings together. There aren't individual pages for each of the different resorts. You can of course sort by the resort though. Any of the underlined headings you can sort by. This is resort, points, use year, price per point, price, and status. Similarly, while you can't specify the exact use year you're interested in and therefore have a table populated with only those use years, you can sort listings by resort and then use year. At least this way it will be fast for you to scroll to see exactly what you want. If you're particular about the use year you want but not resort, you can instead sort by use year first and then resort. So here you're seeing all of the February use year contracts currently available. You cannot specify a minimum or maximum price per point, total contract price, or number of points. The number of points currently available, so if the contracts are stripped or loaded, is again available in sentence format in this column. If we click Buy Now for an individual listing, you'll see all of the need-to-know information, including points availability. Points availability is also nicely laid out in a table for easy and quick visual understanding. Based on the homepage and the individual listing page, I do not believe there is a way to favorite a specific listing. You can, however, sign up for the new listings email. While there is a general newsletter email, you can also choose your search criteria, so the specific property you're interested in, as well as the use year, number of points, and the price. And then I believe the top of your newsletter will come with those specifications sorted first. To my knowledge, the commission rate for DVC by Resale.com is not disclosed. Next, we have Buy and Sell DVC at buyandselldvc.com. Here you can click this to view all of the listings together, or you can click an individual resort to view listings for just that home resort. From the All Listings page, you can specify a resort, you can specify a single use year, and you can also specify a maximum price. Also, you can sort by any of the columns. The number of points available for any given listing is quickly skimmed and understood in this Points Available column. Similarly, if you're looking for a stripped or loaded contract, you can sort by this column. Clicking any of the hyperlinks in a row for a given listing will take you to that listing page. Here again, you'll see everything you need to know, including a clear visual breakdown of how many points are available on the contract. Based on the main listing page and the individual listing page, I don't believe there's any way to favorite a specific listing. If you don't see a contract that's to your liking though, you can, however, set up an email alert, and you can also create a wish list, as in make a request. Email alerts will be generic. You'll get sent the newest listing, so not necessarily matching exactly what you want. Wish lists, however, will be a little more individualized, and you can tell them exactly what you're looking for. Then they will do their best to notify you when they get a property that matches your request. If you're planning on selling, buyandselldvc.com advertises a 6.5% commission rate. The last DVC resale site I find myself browsing often is DVCResale.com. This is run through the Timeshare Store Inc. Interestingly, you'll notice this logo is shared with DVCStore.com. I am not entirely sure how these two websites are related. Back to DVCResale.com, you'll notice that the logo says buydvcpoints.com. If you go ahead and type that into your browser, you will come to the same website. If you're interested in buying resale here, you can go to the current listings from the buying tab. You can also scroll down a little bit and specify your resort and use year and search listings, or you can view all of the listings from here as well. From this page, you can see that you can sort by any of the columns. At this time, the column headings are 2018, 2019, and 2020, which I find a little bit strange since we're near the end of 2020. Typically, you would see 2019 through 2021 instead. Some websites have even already shifted to 2020 through 2022. For example, this first listing is a February use year, and we're already, of course, past February of 2020. You can see that for these 3 years, it looks like there are 0 points available, but it's not immediately clear how many points are coming in 2021. And February of 2021 is coming somewhat soon. I do appreciate how quick it is to visually understand how many points are available on the contract, but I hope that they update these headings to be more relevant years soon. From this webpage where you view all of the listings, you cannot specify a minimum or maximum number of points, price per point, or total contract price. You can view up to 100 entries, which I appreciate, and there's also this search bar if you want to make use of that. And similar to DVC Resales, I believe that there is valuable information in the listing IDs. For example, AR, outlining resort, 1000, the number of points per year, 02, February use year, and then 0824. Presumably this was listed first on August 24th. When we click an available listing, it will take us to that listing page. Here you'll see everything you need to know. So there are 1,000 points coming in February of 2021 and another 1,000 points coming in February of 2022. Based on the all listings page as well as this individual page, I do not believe that you can favorite an individual listing. If there is a way to sign up for email or text message alerts, it's not immediately obvious based on the buying drop-down menu. And similarly, when you go to the FAQ for sellers and search for the commission rate, there's not an obviously stated commission rate anywhere, it just states that they do charge commission. There's your overview of all the DVC websites I tend to browse. All of the websites have various pros and cons when it comes to the ease of browsing as well as the user interface. Ultimately, if you've done your homework and you know more or less exactly what you want in a resale contract, browsing 9 or so websites really doesn't take very much time. For the most part, you can open up the various websites and then on each go to only the home resort you're interested in. Typically then I will sort by the number of points and I'll scroll down to see if there's a contract in my point range with the use year that I want. Most of the time the answer is no. Personally, I did not sign up for email, app, or text message alerts. Rather, I just browse the sites every few days. However, the alerts are a very nice option if you want to be sure that you will be the first to put an offer on a contract that you really want. I hope this overview has helped you navigate the DVC resale landscape. If you found this overview helpful, please give the video a like and subscribe to the channel. Ring the bell icon for notifications whenever I post new videos. Thanks to all the returning subscribers and viewers, the growth of this channel in the past few months really is all thanks to you. If you have any questions about how I've been navigating the DVC resale process, leave a comment down below, or you can find me on other platforms like Twitter and Instagram at PixieDustPhD. Are there other DVC resale websites that you use that I did not highlight today? This is surely not a comprehensive list, and if you've had a good experience or know someone that's had a good experience with a different website, please do let me know in the comments down below. I hope the rest of your day is absolutely magical, and we'll see you real soon at PixieDustPhD.